Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome.
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. Here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and from the LHSCA, Coach Eric Held making his annual appearance. If Coach Held's here, it's Week 10. The precincts are in, and we're looking at the power rankings and looking ahead to the postseason. But before we do that, we'll recap Week 10 tonight. Thanks so much to everyone listening to us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. You can also catch the show tonight on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. And we'll be joined by our audience on your view whenever St. Thomas More and Lafayette Christian go final. That one still got at least 4.5 minutes to play in that ball game. St. Thomas More leading the Knights of Lafayette Christian 37-33, a game that was about 24-13 at the half. And then the offenses start putting on a show here in the second half. A gutsy call there late to go for it on fourth down deep in their own territory. But we'll look forward to talking about that game in just a bit. Ryan Kennedy producing the program tonight. We got Cassie, we got Skip, and we got Gumbo from Chris's Specialty Foods, authentic Cajun food. And let's go ahead and get things started with our opening drive.
Taking you through tonight's top stories. This is Opening Drive on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
First, looking at games, certainly we'll spend more time recapping, but a wild finish from last night. Catholic High Bears, congratulations to the Bears. They are the District 4 5A champs with an overtime win over Zachary. Look, having that game on Thursday night is great, I think, for high school football in the state. You had U-High and Parkview Baptist. That one certainly not as close in the score-wise last night, but these are exciting games to have these two teams. For the longest time, I think it was Catholic and Dutchtown at the end of the season in the previous districts, but this one sets up to be a really nice finish to the regular season, and it didn't disappoint last night, but quite a finish.
Oh, heck of a ball game. I mean, Catholic High, the second half was a thing of beauty for both teams. I mean, they just traded punch after punch like
7-7 at halftime.
7-7 at half, and honestly, could have been 14-0, 17-0, but it was 7-7. And Catholic blocked a punt with about 11 seconds left in the first half, and returned it for a touchdown. Zachary had dominated the first half. They had a misread by the quarterback on a play where he should have walked into the end zone on 4th and 1. Had a interception where Zachary was in field goal range. Now, I can't say he was going to make it or not. Obviously, it wasn't a chip shot, but it was a makeable kick. Had an interception. Ball clearly hit the ground. I thought the officials missed that call. Then it gets back to the end of the game. I mean, it got crazy. Catholic scores on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, something like that. Zachary went to a quarters look, no middle linebacker in the game, and Bill walked it in from 8 to 10 yards. Mm-hmm. Had a leaping, hurling, whatever the rule is, not sure exactly, but
you can't hurdle the center.
You can't hurdle them. You just can't touch them.
Yeah, all right.
Well, it comes down to this, though, Todd. You say that, but the officials say that the kid wasn't touched, and then chaos ensued. They met again. They eventually got the rule right. I don't know if they got the call right. And it put Zachary with a 1st and goal from the 25 on their possession, and Jacob Bradford got an interception on the 4th down play from about the 10.
How was Tradez Green's night?
Really good. 6 for 132, I think it was.
Because he had
touchdown.
He had the catch right before the final play, right? That set him up.
Yes, he got it to the 10. He had another big play where Bradford had excellent coverage on him, and I mean they both had the ball, and Green just took it away from him and turned it into probably a 40, 50-yard touchdown. I don't think they targeted Trey-Dez enough because they pretty much covered him with Bradford, and he would press coverage a little bit, and then he would back off pre-snap. I thought they could have threw hitches down the field on him. At times they had a safety on the hash to get over there. I thought they left a hole there. I know Catholic's game plan going in was to stop the run and make Zachary beat you passing, and they did that somewhat, not totally. Cameron Thomas had 170 yards on 30 carries, but they eliminated the big plays by him.
The other point of the opening drive I wanted to bring up is a game that's still in progress between St. Thomas More and Lafayette Christian, so we'll continue to follow that. Elsewhere, teams that are undefeated that went down tonight, Edie White got the win over St. James. Carr fell to John Curtis, and for Coach J.T. Curtis. And the Patriots, in the middle of the season, had a tough stretch where they went 0-2. It's not something that happens every year. You can probably count the years that has happened for Curtis, but they have really bounced back and played well at the end of the season. And I don't ever want to say that they're an underdog, but they're certainly not getting discussed a lot this year. Now, this week, we know there was some discussion amongst that record that he has from a national standpoint. Didn't get a final on Gina yet, but Ruston did beat West Monroe, so they remain undefeated. St. Charles Catholic knocked off Newman. They did. Yep. So there we go. That's another team that remained undefeated in the regular season. St. Charles Catholic defeated Newman, and that one gives the Comets an undefeated regular season.
So there's a couple, Sam Houston, who knocked off Southside. Benton knocked off Parkway. And there was one more I saw that golly, where'd it go? It ran straight from me. I don't know where it is now.
Shaw Caring Crow?
No. But although that did surprise me, I did not see that coming. The Willow School.
There's a crazy one going on right now. LCA was down to St. Thomas More 21-0. They just went ahead on St. Thomas More was up 37-33 with a chance to go ahead even more on about the 3-yard line. Fumbled a low center snap, and LCA just ran it back about 96 yards for a touchdown with 1:44.
When you said comeback, that reminded me. Church Point was ahead of Iota, big, and Iota came back and won 48-44. I mean, I think it was like 3 touchdowns. Eric, do you know?
Something like that, yeah. At least two scores.
Yeah, let's make it 3.
Sounds better.
The story sets up a little bit better.
It was
Better story.
It was
Disney will make a movie
story
out of it.
Yeah.
True story, yes, indeed.
And as we continue to follow some of these scores, we will certainly keep you updated because some of them have not quite gone final yet. We've got a complete scoreboard coming your way in just a bit, and then we also will start to look ahead to next week in the postseason as far as the Baton Rouge area teams are concerned. Who is making it in some of those last spots. There was some discussion. Scotlandville may be able to get themselves into the postseason.
That would be a crime if they did, just to be honest with you. They've scored, 20 points all year?
And it's been rough on the offensive side. Yeah, for sure. So we look forward to speaking with a couple of coaches as well. And if we can get Skip in position, we'll go over our first set of scores from all of our regions tonight. A reminder, if you missed anything or if you miss anything from tonight's show, you can find it on demand at 1045ESPN.com or wherever you download podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, those things. You can get them. Podcast. Skip? Anybody find Skip?
Oh, Skip.
Skipper.
Please get Loverboy into his seat and get
Let's see.
our
I
scores.
should have some of those scores. I've seen 1,000 of them tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and get. We're efforting a couple of coaches as well, but we want to make sure we get our first set of scores.
You go Baton Rouge area first.
Yeah, I can handle it.
There he is.
I mean, seriously, wipe the lipstick off. All right.
Please.
Of course.
Hit a drop. Get me out of here.
Cue the music.
The thing.
The Capital City Scoreboard.
Served by walk-ons.
Ascension Catholic 50, Ascension Christian 13, Dunham 48, Capital 0, Dutchtown 37, East Ascension 14, East Feliciana is a 38-6 winner over Northeast, Bruley over Estruma 28-26, Central 34, Liberty 15, Santa Maud 20, Live Oak 3, and Port Allen 60, Felix Mentorship 6.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard. Pumped by peak performance.
Lutchard blanks Ellender 49-0. Archbishop Shaw 57, Karen Crow 50. Bell Chase a 33-8 winner over LB Landry. Chalmette defeats West Jefferson 35-6. Riverside shuts out Crescent City 63-0. The Willow School defeats East Jefferson 24-21. John Curtis is a 41-7 winner over Edna Carr. Franklin defeats Ascension Episcopal 44-41. Patrick Taylor defeats Haynes Academy 27-7. Homa Christian over Fisher 52-16. Jesuit a 13-10 winner over Archbishop Rummel. Livingston and Sarah Reed will be playing tomorrow. Martin Luther King Charter 22, Country Day 19. South Lafourche and Vanderbilt Catholic was no contest. St. Charles blanks Newman 28-0. Edie White over St. James 27-19. Terrebonne defeats Hanesville 45-24. Destrehan over Thibodaux 38-12. Pine defeats West St. John 63-24. And Catholic New Iberia 42, West St. Mary 6.
The Acadiana Scoreboard.
Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Abbyville over Kaplan 18-14. Breaux Bridge defeats Livonia 42-6. Avoyelles 54, Pickering 0. Iota a 48-44 winner over Church Point. Eunice defeats Lagrange 43-13. Elton over Hamilton Christian 22-20. Central Catholic 37, Highland Baptist 7. Lake Arthur defeats Vinton 50-6. Lake Charles College Prep and Kinder were a no contest. Northwest over Mammoth 49-0. Turlings Catholic blanks North Vermilion also 49-0. Westgate a 23-8 winner over Northside. Oakdale over Rose Pine 47-6. Oberlin defeats Ville Platte 51-16. Fort Berry blanks Pine Prairie 44-0. Leesville over Rain 53-32. Sam Houston defeats Southside 32-27. Opelousas Catholic over St. Edmund 56-12. St. Louis Catholic blanks Jennings 7-0. Vermilion Catholic 43, Hanson Memorial 14. DeRitter over Washington Marion 49-14. South Beauregard 21, Westlake 19. And Westminster Catholic Point Capee 55, Westminster 6.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Bunkie over Marksville 47-12. C.E. Bird 42, Natchitoches Central 14. Caldwell Parish over Bolton 42-6. Calvary defeats Loyola Prep 50-10. Union Parish over Carroll 40-6. Arcadia beats Plain Dealing 62-22. Benton over Parkway 45-21. Gina 74, Buckeye 38. Delhi blanks Tensai 48-0. Delta Charter 60, Block 6. Evangel a 42-6 winner over Booker T. Washington and Shreveport. Captain Shreve defeats Houghton 56-28. Menard defeats Glen Oaks 27-6. Hanesville blanks Homer 23-0. Magnolia School 26, Ringgold 0. Mansfield over Red River 42-20. Mendon defeats Woodlawn Shreveport 36-6. D'Arbonne Woods Charter defeats North Caddo 42-36. North Webster 52, Lafayette Renaissance 12. Ouachita Parish over Pineville 49-7. Franklin Parish defeats Peabody 15-6. Richwood blanks Bastrop 18-0. Ruston over West Monroe 35-28. Alexandria 49, West Ouachita 7.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Bogalusa over Albany 30-12. Mandeville defeats Covington 24-6. Hammond over Ponchatoula 31-13. Lakeshore defeats Franklinton 31-28. North Lake Christian 44, Independence 20. North Shore defeats Slidell 16-7. St. Thomas Aquinas 51, Springfield 8. St. Martin's Episcopal 44, Varnado 14.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Bird's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. We are presented by Lake Urgent Care, Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, and our special guest tonight, Coach Eric Held, as we are joined on the radio and on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. 30 seconds remaining in St. Thomas More Lafayette Christian, with the Knights leading the Cougars 40-37. And we'll be joined on your view whenever that game goes final. But let's go ahead and jump on the hotline where we have Coach Wayne Stein from St. Charles Catholic. The Comets get the win tonight over Newman. Coach, congratulations, and thanks for a couple of minutes with us tonight.
Thank you, guys, and appreciate you having me on.
You know, Coach, I wrote one of my brilliant articles, and I think that you guys over the last 2 years have probably been the most consistent, strongest team in the state. And I don't know that you expected to be this good this year, but you're right there at it. I know last year you always said it's a tribute to your parents, allowing your kids to be coached the way they need to be coached. Similar this year?
Yeah, it starts with our parents, and then, you know this, Todd. I think, the best coaching staff in the state and maybe one of the best high school staffs in the country. I'm the head coach, but, there are 3 guys who are more experienced than me on the staff. Our kids truly believe in our staff, and we put them to the test each and every week. And I think our kids have done a great job of just taking it 1 week at a time and taking on the task that's in front of them and not getting ahead of themselves and letting everybody else do the talk about repeat and things of that nature. And we've done the job so far, but we just got to peek at our playoff bracket. It's going to be something serious. So we'll get back to work tomorrow.
Coach, 17-game win streak with a kid I wanted you to talk a little bit about. You have a player, and I don't have his name in front of him, but he had a kidney or a liver transplant. Talk about him.
Yeah, Caden Foster, he was a mainstay. He was a corner that started for us in the 2021 season and when we beat Lafayette Christian. And then, later that spring, one of our kids noticed his eyes were yellow and went through a litany of tests, and one thing led to another, and he loses his whole senior year in football, couldn't play at all, ends up having a liver transplant and granted another year eligibility by the LHSA because, that's what the real hardship is for, and he couldn't quite finish. And so he's had an opportunity to come back and have a normal senior year. It's really an unbelievable story. Just the timing of it all, the fact that he was not high up on the transplant list because he was fairly healthy. And, one day he got a phone call and they had a transplant. They had a donor, and he got in the call with his parents, and the rest is history. And then 6 months later, he gets cleared to play football. In fact, his transplant team was here tonight. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Golly, man, it gives me chills just thinking about it. Where were they from?
From Oshner.
Wow, man. Eric?
Coach, great story, familiar voice for you here, but just great story, even hearing it from you, tell it again for however many times I've heard it. But a lot of people, coaches around the state ask me about and just talk about what is the secret behind St. Charles Catholic's success, whether it's the football program under Coach Frank before you. You had many years as a defensive coordinator, now in your 3rd year, 2 state championships, multiple state championships as a baseball coach. Everybody wants to know what the secret sauce is. I know what it is. Just being familiar with you and the program, and tell everybody what the secret sauce is with the Comet program.
Well, it starts, this thing's a village. We have a saying, it takes a village to raise a champion. And, like we talked about, Todd said, it talks about parents allowing us to push their kids. We have a phenomenal coaching staff that allows, that pushes our kids, and our kids don't balk at it. Then we have an administration that knows athletics is an important part of what they do, of the high school, but they also are not going to do anything to contradict the values of our school. And our kids still play for one another. In this day and age of me, I think our kids truly play for each other, and that's something that I feel like is not always everywhere. And I think that is really the secret to the sauce. And it's surely not me, but we've got a great culture here. Everybody that coaches here wants to be here. Our kids that come here want to be here, and our parents truly support what we're doing.
Jimmy, I think having a pretty savvy father-in-law might help a little bit too.
Is that what it is?
I think that has a little bit to do with it.
That's true. But, you go back and you look at St. Charles, what they're doing. They remind me a whole lot of what Notre Dame and Louis Cook was, or still is, but especially back in the early 2000s. The names change, but the results, they stay the same. St. Charles is very fundamentally sound on offense, defense, special teams. They don't do anything flashy, but what they do it great. And a lot of teams try to get good at a lot of things, but not great at anything. And St. Charles gets great at a few things, and they do what they do. Here they are. They don't beat themselves. When you go play them, you're going to have to beat them. They're not going to give you things on special teams. They're not going to make dumb plays on offense. And they've got that program to a level to where it just revolves one after another. Like St. Thomas More, you watch them, they look the same every year. And that's where St. Charles is right now, in my opinion.
Coach, I don't need necessarily an exact number, but what percentage of your team plays more than one sport, would you say?
So we have 114 players, and I would say that, somewhere in the 85 to 90 range of our kids play something else. In fact, a lot of people talk about sharing athletes and two-sport athletes. My starting kicker ran in the cross-country regional this morning, and so did one of my receivers, and so how many football coaches are going to say, yeah, go do it, go compete? But that's, I can't say it and not really live it. And so we don't want to waste any talent that our kids have. And I think what happens is a lot of these places, the adults don't share the kids. They put the kids in the middle, and here that's not going to happen.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn on this, Coach, but we talked in the spring, and you mentioned, St. Charles is a baseball school, and kids play football to pass time, whereas in most schools it's vice versa. Talk a little bit about that, because I thought it was real interesting in a comment, and I believe it's true as well.
Well, what I mean by that, Todd, is kids love baseball, right? Everybody loves baseball. I love baseball. But I think the difference here is those kids that in some schools might not choose to play football, here they play football. So there's not a kid walking our school, walking the hallways, not many of them that could be helping us on the football team. I think that's the biggest thing. You got a lot of places where they got guys walking the halls that could really help change the landscape of that football program, but they choose to be single sport athletes, and I'm not judging them. That's what they choose to do. Here that doesn't happen, and I think that is really what's special about this place.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate a couple minutes to catch up with you. The season is just getting started as we transition into the postseason. So best of luck moving forward, Coach, and look forward to speaking with you down the road.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Tell my boy I said hello.
And another thing they're doing, they're moving up. They're requested to move up to 4A. So they want to get put in the same district with Lutcher, who else? St. James, maybe. They're trying to get all of them into one district, and that'll make it better.
That'll be fun.
Guys, Coach Monaco, when he would always come on the show, we'd ask him the key to his success and blah, blah, blah. But everything he would always come back to is we keep it simple. And I think that a lot of people miss that boat they feel like that they've got to reinvent the wheel, and
it's fundamental.
It's fundamental. Yep.
When you go out there, you know what you're going to get. It's not like they're trying to disguise a lot of things. They're trying to hide what they do. This is who we are. This is what we do. Now you got to beat us. And it works.
The effort that they play with on every snap and every pitch in baseball is unbelievable. And I think that's what the secret, a big part of the secret to their success, and they allow themselves to be coached hard, because if you go watch them coach in a game, they're coaching them as hard at practice, and they know what they're getting into, and the parents allow their kids to be coached hard. Why? Because when they get done and get finished playing ball and go to college, there's going to be stuff in there that you got to deal with that's hard. And those kids that go on after that, they're successful because of going through that program.
You know, doing the interviews with the LHSA and the Superdome, you know, Fitzhugh has told me that about their parents. And there was, I want to say it was maybe Homer or Oak Grove, somewhere, one of those schools, that said the same thing. And I think there's a lot to be said about that, because so many times parents get into the middle and they really create a wasp nest almost, because it's not good, you know, chemistry. I just think in those communities, I think that's the basis of what a community school does.
And if you were not aware, the final score is now 44-40. St. Thomas More over Lafayette Christian. Juwan Johnson had a heave from about the 50-yard line into the end zone that went off the fingertips of a wide receiver, nearly caught, that would have won the game for the night. So lots more to get to. I mean, it's been
that have been payback in the state championship.
St. Thomas More went up with 20 seconds left, 44-40. And they had two pass plays, actually. One of them was right by the goal line, and one was in the end zone, and I thought he was going to catch it. I thought he did catch it, but you could see the ball come out at the end. But this is a typical St. Thomas More Lafayette Christian game, same as the two were last year.
And a lot of people think that in 5 weeks we're going to see that matchup again, and that would be exciting. There are some other schools in the Division II select bracket that will have something to say about it and challenge them.
That's 3 games between these two teams decided by 15 points. I mean, state championship 4, a touchdown last year. When in reality, in the first half of the game, in the third quarter, it wasn't looking that way, and all of a sudden,
this was a 21-0 St. Thomas More lead at one time.
And hopefully we get to see them play in years in the future, being that St. Thomas More will be in 4A and Lafayette Christian will be in 2A, where their enrollment puts them. They elected not to play up. Hopefully they decide to play in pre-district.
Lafayette Christian's not going to play up?
Correct.
They said not beneficial to their other sports.
Okay.
So what I see so far, non-select Division 1, Neville had a bye, Zachary at 4 lost, West Monroe at 7 lost, Southside at 10 lost. You look at Division 2, you got West 4, 5, and 6 lost. There's going to be some shake-up there. Non-select Division 4, 1 through 5, 1. St. James lost in non-select Division 3. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some shake-ups a little bit. But I think non-select Division 1 ought to be interesting.
We'll get your Baton Rouge scores when we come back and speak with some more coaches as well. This is the Week 10 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Mom, what's for breakfast? Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around.
Carrier, the Tiger, and the Wildcat. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Efforting a couple of coaches right now from Hanesville, Coach David Franklin, looking at Coach Hudson Fuller and Coach Andy Martin, as well as a couple of others, and also looking at the power rankings. But let's get you caught up on scores right now, and we'll start first in Baton Rouge.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Ascension Catholic over Ascension Christian, 50-13. Episcopal, a 56-7 winner over Baker. Dunham shuts out Capital, 48-0. Dutchtown, a 37-14 winner over East Ascension. East Feliciana defeats Northeast, 38-6. Bruley defeats Struma, 28-26. Central over Liberty, 34-15. Santa Maria over Live Oak, 20-3. Port Allen defeats Helix Mentorship, 60-6. Southern Lab blanks Slaughter, 45-0. Jeanerette, 36, St. John 2. Bel Air over Terra, 50-12. Walker's a 35-21 winner over Denham Springs. Plaquemine defeats West Feliciana, 13-8. Woodlawn over Scotlandville, 24-20. Madison Prep shuts out Collegiate Baton Rouge, 54-0.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lutcher blanks Ellender 49-0. Archbishop Shaw 57, Karen Crow 50. Assumption over South Terrebonne 42-14. Belle Chase 33, LB Landry 8. Central Lafourche 36, HL Bourgeois 7. Chalmette defeats West Jefferson 35-6. Riverside blanks Crescent City 63-0. The Willow School 24, East Jefferson 21. John Curtis defeats Edna Carr 41-7. Franklin over Ascension Episcopal 44-41. Patrick Taylor defeats Haynes 27-14. Homa Christian defeats Fisher 52-16. Jesuit over Archbishop Rummel 13-10. Livingston and Sarah Reed will play tomorrow at 5. MLK Charter 22, Country Day 19. South Lafourche and Vanderbilt Catholic was a no contest. South Plaquemine defeat Jefferson Rise Charter 28-6. St. Charles blanks Isidore Newman 28-0. Edie White over St. James 27-19. Terrebonne over Hanesville 45-24. Destrehan defeats Thibodaux 38-12. Pine is a 63-24 winner over West St. John. And Catholic New Iberia 42, West St. Mary 6.
Thanks so much to Skip getting our scores tonight. You can find them on the bottom of the screen if you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. And now we welcome in our audience from your view. You can catch the scores on the bottom of the screen on that scrolling ticker as well. Let's go back to Thursday night, Week 10 action. Coming off a real good win, one that Coach had pinpointed for a full season, probably a very emotional win, physical game for Wassman over Union Parish. They had a tough one against Sterlington.
Yeah, Sterlington comes out on top 38-15 to win that division. They moved to 9-1. Wassman falls to 8-2. Wassman came into the game allowing less than 7 points on the year. They just couldn't stop Sterlington's ground game. Sterlington rushed 60 times for 439 yards. They attempted only 2 passes in the game. They had 3 backs go over 80 yards, led by Tremel Coleman, a kid we've been talking about for years on here. He had 14 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. The most points that Wassman had given up going into this game was 21 against Calvary. Sterlington put up 24 in the first half and led 24-0 at halftime and went on to win that game using their ground attack.
Elsewhere on Thursday night, looking at some of the other scores, you had Holy Cross defeating East St. John 56-19.
What a great year for Coach Scott Whiting at Holy Cross. I mean, he turned it completely around. They went 3-8 last year. They're 8-2 this year. Their losses was to, help me out, Eric Carr and Brother Martin? Yeah, Brother Martin and Carr.
They beat Curtis in that
They beat
wild
Curtis in
overtime
that game 42-41. Again, rushing attack. Holy Cross had 557 yards, 30 first downs. They rushed for 386. They had 3 backs go over 100 yards. They rushed for 5 touchdowns. It's their first 8-win season since 2013. East St. John quarterback Lorenzo Zeno had a good night. He accounted for 270 of East St. John's 227 out of 270 yards. East St. John could be a little bit in trouble. They've lost 3 straight. Lost to Terrebonne, Destrehan,
yeah,
and now Holy Cross after a 7-0 start. Sophomore running back Kyron Smith for Holy Cross has 16 carries for 149 yards.
Great job by Scott at Holy Cross. He's an alum. He had interviewed for the job before, interested in the position when he was, I believe, at Archbishop Hannon and then again at Catholic New Iberia when those jobs came open. And Scott's big faith-filled man and, just realized at that time, hey, I'm in the place where I'm supposed to be. And the job came open and he applied, and he was the choice. And, of course, he's done a tremendous job. Close loss to Brother Martin. And they played Carr close into the third quarter, if you remember. But they had that 3-game run where they defeated Rummel, John Curtis, and St. Augustine. And, they're going to be a 1 or 2 seed, it seems.
Yeah. And also, they can run a little bit. They're with Smith, who's a sophomore, and then they have 2 wide receivers. They were also part of the 4x100 state championship team in track.
And Cole Canatello is a 3-year starter at quarterback, and that's something that's irreplaceable when you find somebody in high school that's a 3-year starter that's just started a number of games, and a guy that's 15 years old starting in the Catholic League and facing Carr when you're a sophomore, and Curtis and Jesuit and Rummel, Brother Martin, the whole 9 yards, and then a tough non-district schedule. And he's battle-tested and big reason for their success.
And they're throwing it a whole lot more than they did last year.
How about the job that Coach Dennis Gaines is doing over there with the Bulldogs?
How about the job Diesel Solorio is doing? I mean, it was his show last night. Let's see, he had 19 carries for 341 yards, 6 touchdowns. He had touchdown runs of 75, 52, and 45. He passed for 101 yards and a touchdown. He had a 2-point conversion. He played all 4 quarters at cornerback. I mean, he's doing it all. They're using him as punt returner, and he's only a junior. Remember, he's coming off of that knee injury. He was, like Eric's talking about, I think he was a starter as a freshman at quarterback. Their running back, Corey Broussard, had a good night, 18 carries, 107 yards. They got 2 interceptions, one from Jalen Wiltz and another one from freshman Frankie Frank.
Great name.
Great name.
One of the state's best names. But Cecilia, early in the year, when people would ask, hey, looking ahead, Division II, non-select.
Didn't say
we
it.
know North DeSoto and Lutcher. Give me some other names. It's wide open. I said, remember Cecilia. I thought last year they had a great chance to make a run at the Dome, definitely to the semis. Their only loss this year is to Southside 49-46. And they played Opelousas in Week 8 and Notre Dame Week 5, St. Martinville in the opener.
And Opelousas over there in the same district. That was like a 25-22 game, maybe.
Correct,
something like that.
25-22. That's another one.
That's another one to keep an eye on because they started tons of freshmen and sophomore last year. Now they're sophomore and juniors. They're still a junior-based team in Opelousas. Coach Zachary and his guys can make a run. But in this game was actually close with 9:24 left. It was a one-score game at 41-35, and you talk about Solari playing both ways, rushing that much. 245 yards of his came in the second half.
And Iowa is no slouch.
No. Iowa's 7-3 now. Is that Tommy Johns?
Tommy Johns does a great job with them. Been there a few years and was at St. Louis Catholic as an assistant. His dad, Mike, was a longtime coach. Great father-son tandem in coaching. And we have one of those coming up later on as a guest.
We're still trying to reach out to Andy Martin and Hudson Fuller, but we mentioned that game last night. U High was 55-21 winner over Parkview. They moved to 9-1. They clinched that.
6-3A.
Yeah, 6-3A. Emil Picarella, he had another good night, 14 for 18, 249, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and threw to 3 different receivers. He's 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, so they're doing a good job of taking care of the football. And when you look, we talked about it last week, when you look at some of the top quarterbacks in the states, their ratio of interceptions, touchdowns to interceptions has been incredible. I mean, you got some guys putting up some really, really good stats.
Tremendous. And he's improved tremendously from the Jamboree Week 1, moving on. If you remember, he transferred in from out of state, and mom and dad are both from here.
Right.
And little known fact, my second year in coaching, his dad Emil was an all-state center at Holy Cross. Tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar type guy. Ended up in med school, became a doctor, and then transferred back, and then moved the family back here. And all the kids are at University Lab, and he's just improved. And it's been cool to see his progression, his development. along the way. Aaron Weiss does a great job as offensive coordinator for University, but this kid is really good, come a long way, and has become one of the best quarterbacks in the state, and he's a class of 25 player.
Yeah.
We'll take a timeout, looking to get you some more scores and more coaches, as well as looking at the power rankings and kind of setting the scene for Selection Sunday and the playoffs next week. This is the Week 10 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Mom, what's for breakfast?
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Coach Brandon Brown, the head football coach at Director East St. John High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. You know, it's interesting hearing those liners that we cut at the social event for the coaches clinic, and it feels like it was 2 days ago that happened, and now we're in week 10. A great event, Coach, by the way. Everything was packed that night. I think you guys did a great job. Before we head to break, I want to make sure I remind everyone, BSN Sports, the official supplier of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. I'm rocking the brand new quarter zip tonight.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And they can outfit your team, whether it's the gear, whether it's the uniforms, the name brands you know and love. Scott Nielsen and the guys do a great job. And I would start first at bsnsports.com. Doesn't matter what season you're in, doesn't matter what sport you play, they can take care of you. We've really had a good partnership with them.
And the official sponsor of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association. Great relationship with them, with Scott Nielsen, Jim Hill, and the gang. They do a tremendous job.
You'll always catch Scott on the sidelines of Zachary football. Say hello. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Don't have time for a trampoline injury?
We don't have time for this today.
We're here with online check-in so you can wait from anywhere. Plus, on-site digital x-rays. If you don't have time to be hurt, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show,
Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome.
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, Louisiana Coaches Association's Eric Held. We got Cassie, we got Ryan, we got Skip, and we got your scores if you're watching on your view or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Find that scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen and find your final score from Week 10. We'll update you from the areas here in just a bit. We're going to go through Acadiana and North and Central Louisiana, efforting a couple of coaches as well. We got some feelers out to get some coaches in. A lot of them probably doing some math themselves and trying to figure out where they will be in round 1 of the postseason. We had Catholic High last night. The Bears won in overtime, 35-28 over Zachary. A pretty wild finish over at Memorial. They won District 4 5A. And U High was another big game on Thursday night with I think it's 55-21 over Parkview Baptist. So looking forward to seeing if we can connect with some of these victorious head football coaches on Week 10. But first, let's get you caught up on what happened in Acadiana and North and Central Louisiana. We'll start in the Lafayette area.
The Acadiana Scoreboard. Restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Abbyville defeats Kaplan 18-14. Bro Bridge over Livonia 42-6. St. Martinville 67, Crowley 39. Avoyles 54, Pickering 0. Iota defeats Church Point 48-44. Lauraville beats Delcom 48-0. Erath 68, Donaldsonville 42. Eunice over LaGrange 43-13. Elton defeats Hamilton Christian 22-20. Central Catholic 37, Highland Baptist 7. St. Thomas More 40, Lafayette Christian 37. Lake Arthur 50, Benton 6. Lake Charles College Prep and Kinder are a no contest. Northwest blanks Mamou 49-0. Turlings Catholic over North Vermilion 49-0. Westgate a 23-8 winner over Northside. Oakdale over Rose Pine 47-6. Oberlin defeats Ville Platte 51-16. Port Barry blanks Pine Prairie 44-0. Leesville a 53-32 winner over Rain. Sam Houston defeats Southside 32-27. Opelousas Catholic 56, St. Edmund 12. St. Louis Catholic defeats Jennings 7-0. Vermilion Catholic 43, Hanson Memorial 14. DeRitter defeats Washington Marion 49-14. South Beauregard a 21-19 winner over Westlake. And Catholic Point Capee 55, Westminster 6.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
Bunkie over Marksville 47-12. Bird a 42-14 winner over Natchitoches Central. Caldwell Parish 42, Bolton 6. Calvary is a 50-10 winner over Loyola Prep. Union Parish defeats Carroll 40-6. Arcadia defeats Plain Dealing 62-22. Beekman Charter 35, LaSalle 18. Benton a 45-21 winner over Parkway. Gina all over Buckeye 74-38. Delhi defeats Tensa 48-0. Delta Charter over Block 60-6. Evangel defeats Booker T. Washington of Shreveport 42-6. Rayville over Faraday 52-34. General Trask a 40-16 winner over Madison. Green Oaks 48, Lakeside 30. Captain Shreve a 56-28 winner over Houghton. Menards a 24-6 winner over Glen Oaks. Hanesville blanks Homer 23-0. Magnolia School 26, Ringgold 0. Mansfield a 42-20 winner over Red River. Mendon over Woodlawn Shreveport 36-6. D'Arbonne Woods Charter 42, North Caddo 36. North Webster over Lafayette Renaissance 52-12. Ouachita Parish defeats Pineville 49-7. Franklin Parish over Peabody 15-6. Richwood shuts out Bastrop 18-0. Ruston over West Monroe 35-28. Alexandria is a 49-7 winner over West Ouachita. And Jonesboro Hodge 22, Winfield 20.
Thank you, Skip. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight.
Okay, well, the correct score for STM LCA was 44-40. Skip will get that fixed before we come back on with that. Kinder Lake Charles College Prep is listed as a no contest. We've been asked to explain that. That game was stopped with 8 minutes left in the ball game, I believe, last night at Lake Charles College Prep's home field due to basically what's turned into a weekly gunshot deal. It was not in the stadium. I do believe there was one injured. Don't know to the extent, but it's becoming again just a shame that this is happening every week. And I know Eric was on the phone last night and he got a call about it when it happened from the coaches.
Sure. So unfortunate. You mentioned it's becoming almost a weekly thing now, and one thing that we give guidance to our schools, to their administration, athletic directors, and our coaches, that's the importance of that PAC meeting with officials, with emergency personnel, with administrators, with coaches as well, on anything that could happen in a game, any emergency. And then now what you're seeing is these incidents are coming up with gunshots within the vicinity of the stadium, right outside, as we've seen at a few places. It's very unfortunate, and the main thing is for our schools to be prepared, and our schools, their administrations have done a great job in these situations and making sure that the student athletes and their staffs and their managers and trainers and fans are kept safe. So we're seeing this last night, as you mentioned, Kinder and Lake Charles College Prep, 8 and change left in the game. And because of crews being used tonight with officials and the stadium not being able to be used, you have to mutually agree to a no contest, and that's what both schools agreed upon. Same thing tonight with South Lafourche and Vanderbilt Catholic. There was an electrical fire that took place, and they tried to get the lights going, unavailable to get the lights going, and they already had things scheduled, I believe, for tomorrow, which made it unavailable. You have a lot of times where last week with Donaldsonville and Patterson, the next day they had school events taking place. It's tough for schools to play on Sunday. You have till 11:59 p.m. to complete the game by 11:59 p.m. on Monday. This week it's different. You have to get the game completed by the latest you can start a game is 5 o'clock in week 10. So it's tough to get the game in on Saturday. Last week you also had ACT, which prevented Donaldsonville and Patterson from playing on Saturday, and finding officials outside of the normal Friday because of that decline makes it tough as well. So many different logistical reasons where you're seeing this come up, where teams are unavailable to reschedule.
Not a no contest, but a rare occurrence. You had mentioned earlier there was a game that ended before regulation due to two teams mutually agreeing that they were, I don't know how you say it, they were finished with the game.
Correct. I think it was 48-0 at some point, and both teams, I believe, at halftime agreed to mutually call the game. They got with the officials, and they just.
Is that something that's happened often?
It's happened a handful of times this year. One school that's in Class 1A is really challenged with a number of players through injuries. They had an ejection. It was really challenged, and it happened last week in their game. So it's something you see a few times every year.
U High on Thursday night got the win over Parkview Baptist to ensure the title of District 6 3A. Their offensive coordinator, Aaron Weiss, joins us now. Coach Weiss, thanks so much for jumping on board here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Oh, thanks for having me. I've been on the website trying to get an appointment for Sports Clip at Central, Gordy's hometown. No luck so far. They'll go Preps tonight.
They did get a win tonight, Central. I can tell you that. I think 35-14 or something against Liberty. Coach, good game last night. Emil Picarella had another good night. We talked about him a little bit earlier, 14 for 18, 249. Biggest thing I thought was the 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, and he threw touchdowns to 3 different receivers. I think one of the things that makes U High so efficient and effective on offense is you never know whose night it's going to be. You have talent with Seth Gales, who may be leading the state in receiving yards per catch. Zy Martin's been good for you, Granville Anderson. You can go on and on. You have plenty of weapons there.
Yeah, we give our receivers a lot of leeway and options and kind of how we do our passing game now, and they've just been great. They're smart football players. They're right most of the time, and the thing is they're all interchangeable. I joke we got a bunch of slot receivers, but I always liked little guys. Me and Eric had little guys at St. Michael and threw it around with them because you can move them around. They can be inside, they can be outside, and they can all do a variety of things. And they've been great so far. We'll call a play looking for one thing, and we end up hitting something else, and it's a big play. You never kind of know what's going to happen, but I'm not complaining about it at all.
Okay, let me stop you there. You've got some good college experience under Steve Ensminger and his staff, and you mentioned a slot receiver versus an outside receiver. What makes a good one? Explain what's the difference between a good slot and a good outside guy?
Well, I think traditionally you think of an outside guy as maybe a bigger body, but to me a slot guy traditionally is a smaller, quicker guy. But you look at the really good ones, the Jordan Jeffersons, or not Jordan Jefferson, Jefferson in the NFL, Jamar Chase, those guys in there at LSU, even Jarvis Landry, they could play anywhere. So I'm big on, I think in high school especially, if you can get matchups in the slot, that's easier. A lot of times their best player is going to be the corner, so if you can move guys around, that helps. But if you have a big, we don't have a 6'3" X, or we don't have anything like the guy at Zachary, that's just so big on the outside. So we have to find matchups and move guys around and give them options. We don't try to call the perfect play. We just, try to teach them what to do to what they see. And, when it works, it works. It looks really good. And it also, we got guys, smaller guys, slot guys, I think they're harder to jam too. They're quicker. There's less fast defense to get their hands on.
And you can get them in motion.
Yes.
You can get them in motion, use them with jet sweeps, and that allows them not to get on there. Let's see. Game starts out 14-14, and then it turns into a 35-14 lead. What transpired to expand that lead?
Well, they kind of funny. Parkview does a great job on offense. Coach LaFleur, they came out and they motioned the guy out the backfield, ran a little fake screen, wheeled the guy out the sideline and hit us. And I was like, oh no, that's one of our plays and the next 8 plays in our script. You're always worried, can you run a play that the other team runs because, their defense has probably seen it. Well, we ran it and hit it and scored like the next play on a run. And then we kind of just up front, we challenged our O-line. We used some new sets. We put 6 offensive linemen in the game for a little while. And really wanted to run the ball and be physical. So we, first time in a while, we ran it, 32 times, threw it 18 times or something like that. So we had been more 50-50. So I thought once we started running it, we forced them into some one high coverage stuff. And, then the next thing you know, you got Gail going down the seam. We had Zay Martin on a deep choice, and it just kind of got it. We got that catch-up bottle going, and, next thing you knew, you had a bunch of points. And then special teams were lights out, too. We faked a punt for a first down. It was big. Got a couple punt returns. Seth Gale back there, he's a great punt returner. And then blocked a punt. Then we also scored on defense. So just a bunch of things happened there that all of a sudden it kind of flipped.
Well, Coach Weiss, Coach Eric, you got a question?
Yeah, Coach Weiss mentioned earlier about the development of Emil Picarelli at quarterback. Just talk about that, what you've seen in him, how he's progressed, his development overall from when he came on campus to where he is right now, entering the playoffs in your run to a state title.
He's been awesome. He, came in and came from a smaller school, and I just don't think was used to maybe the total program stuff from the lifting, the running, and all that. He jumped right in, and he's been all in. But I think he's finally grasped everything, and he's tremendously smart and great. He plays basketball. I don't know if he's a great basketball player, but he plays it. And I always think that's good for quarterbacks. He sees the field really well, spatially, and he moves in the pocket way better than anyone I've had in a while, and just keeps his eyes downfield and makes things happen. But he's very gifted, quick release, very smart. He's a football nerd. He's the guy that's going to send me, a highlight of Tennessee running a play on Twitter and say, "Can we run this?" So hey, if he wants to run it, we'll try it. It's all something that we can do. So I've been very impressed with that. I mean, he's I heard you mention his dad. He gets some of that, and he's tough-nosed kid that's going to work hard. And he's good. He's been a joy to have, and he's just picked it up and gone. And I think he's endless possibilities on what he'll be able to do as we keep going.
Well, Coach Weiss, we appreciate your time here on the show. This might be the first time we've had you on the phone. I don't know if we've ever had Coach Weiss on the show.
It's been a long time ago.
It's been a while.
Long time ago. Long time. It's all right. I talked to Jimmy. I just don't get to talk to you, Kate.
That's fair. Look, man, best of luck as you guys prepare for the postseason, and I know we'll be talking U-High football again real soon.
All right. Thank y'all.
It is Coach Aaron Weiss, OC, over at University High, and I wonder how much of that playbook he borrowed from Westside.
I don't know, but Westside did get a win tonight, 62-6 over Las Vegas High.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I like the travel. I want to know about the travel budget.
Yes.
Well.
I really do.
They need a good football.
The private planes, the buses, the charters, the meals.
Couple of Hotard buses.
The apparel that they receive, all the helmets. There's a different helmet every week, a different jersey combination. It rivals that of Oregon, so I wonder if Knight is helping out Westside.
Yeah. We still have
it's all BSN.
Coach Moy.
There you go.
Coach Moy from Abbyville. I think we have set up. I think we're going to get him, and we're still trying to get to Coach Franklin up in Hanesville. We're having a little bit of difficulty getting to him, but we're going to keep trying.
We'll make those calls, and we'll look forward to giving you an update on the North Shore with scores as well. When we get back, this is the Week 10 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The North Shore Scoreboard. Presented by Lake Urgent Care.
Bogalusa over Albany 30-12. Mandeville defeats Covington 24-6. Hammond's a 31-13 winner over Ponchatoula. Lakeshore defeats Franklinton 31-28. Salmon beats LaRanger 48-21. North Lake Christian over Independence 44-20. North Shore 16, Slidell 7. Pearl River over Archbishop Hannon 58-31. St. Paul defeats Fontainebleau 38-21. St. Thomas Aquinas over Springfield 51-8. And St. Martin's Episcopal 44, Varnado 14.
Skip getting our scores together tonight, and you can find a score you are looking for at the bottom of the screen on our scoreboard ticker. If you're watching us on your view with the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, shout out Carl the Cat. He's in the chat. It's good, guys. Week 10 in the books. We appreciate Randall. We got Linda. We got Edward Kelly. This one sounds like a fake name. Edward O. Nuss bus driver. Yep, sounds like a fake name. I'm not the brightest bulb, but I don't think that's the actual guy's name. And we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Appreciate Coach Eric Held. people may or may not remember this from the early days of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, but one of the pizza eating champions of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Back when I was about 220.
Coach Rob Odom and yourself, I believe, went head-to-head.
We did
Yeah.
a couple times, and it was a draw both times. Or maybe he won once and I won the other, but Rob's a lot bigger than I am. He's about 6'2", 6'3", and
what's he call himself? The handsome man?
Most handsome coach in football.
I like it. I like that. Rob with 2 B's.
Rob's lost a lot of weight.
Good for him.
A lot of weight.
I need to get on that train too.
We have our coach. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on the hotline. And for the first time this season, glad to have Abbyville head football coach Rob Moy joins us as they get the win over Kaplan. Coach, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining us here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coach, if I'm not mistaken, this is Abbyville's first outright district title since 1997.
Absolutely. That is it.
You feeling pretty good about yourself right now, aren't you?
Big smile. All 32 pearly whites shining because, listen, 1997 is a long time ago.
Coach, you're a team that likes to run the football. I saw a stat from week 8. Now, you're going to have to tell me if this is a lie or if this is true. Through week 8, you had 18 passes on the year.
I cannot tell a lie. That is the truth.
We said the over and under tonight on passes combined might be 4. Did it go over or under?
I think we went over because we threw a touchdown pass right before halftime, and as did they. So each team threw a touchdown pass tonight. But I tell you what, we ran the football. That thing was over with before 9 o'clock. We put all the kids to bed, but at the end of the day, Abbyville's the district champion.
Well, look, when you're going to run the football, it starts with your offensive line, and you returning all your starters up front, and they're all seniors this year. It makes a huge difference.
That's where it starts for us. 5 seniors on the offensive line, and that's the straw that stirs the drink for us. I'm proud of those guys, and the defense gave us an opportunity. They kept those guys at bay, and we took over the game in the second half, and allowed us to do what we needed to do.
The defense returns 3 out of 4 up front, also, Eric, and they're all seniors. But you have a 3-year starter in quarterback Taj Judge.
Yes, and look, Taj did a great team thing for us, going over and started cornerback for us, and then at the end of the first half, when we needed him the most, ran a 20-yard touchdown run in, and gave us some life. Took us into the half with a tied score, and we couldn't ask for anything more from him.
This is your 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, and you've made the playoffs now the last 3. What did you go in and do to change the culture and the mindset for these kids to have success?
One thing, not to be nitpicking, we made the playoffs all 4.
Okay, 4.
We got
okay.
sent to St. James that first year, but even in that COVID year when we took over in January, this staff has really done a tremendous job at getting these guys into the playoffs. We gave them a taste that first year, but what we've really done is gotten to believe in us. We were down tonight, and those guys did not waver. They did not panic. We stuck to what we do. We ran the football the entire game, and at the end of the day, what we do was enough, and we pounded it out the second half and won the ball game 18-14 with probably competing 3 passes the entire game.
Coach, before we got on air, we had a chance to get a photo up, and actually during the interview, I know you weren't able to see it. For our television audience, there was a photo of you with your daughters on the field after a big win. That really kind of says it all, I would guess. More than the football and everything, having that success, but having the family around you as well, really, I think, is what it all comes down to.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for us over here, man. I can't stress the people enough. 2 weeks ago, we were going to Iraq. We played a JV game on a Wednesday night, and my 3-year-old comes to me and said, "Daddy, I promise you, Boudin's going to win Friday night because that's my favorite player." We beat Iraq. We go on the road when nobody's giving us a snowball's chance in heck last week, going to St. Martinville, and we beat them too. And then we come in there tonight, and everything on the line. That's why I had to take that picture. That's why that's the first thing we do when the ball game's over, win, lose, or draw. And for the city of Abbyville, I'm so proud and I'm so happy that everybody got to enjoy this with us tonight.
So, Coach, with the win, are you guys spending a weekend at the Omelet Festival this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We're going to get to enjoy the Omelet Festival tomorrow, Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. We find out who we draw, and then we're going to get to work. But I'll tell you what, we want to continue to play home games in Abbyville for this city. VC's doing a tremendous job, and, they're undefeated, so they're going to get a bye next week. So the only game in town is Abbyville football, and hopefully we can bring the entire city out to enjoy that together, and both of us be playing in the second round.
Well, Coach, yeah, we would look forward to following this story and seeing you guys continue on into next week. Coach, you had something to add?
Coach Moy, Eric Held here. It's great to be able to tell you congratulations over the air instead of by text. And hopefully you didn't mind me giving the guys that picture to be able to be posted. I knew that was really important. Last week you sent me that picture, and just having two kids that have followed me through my coaching career for 25 years, they're as much a part of the wins and losses as you are, as well as your wife as well, and all the coaches' wives. So I thought that was pretty important. So pretty cool to tell you over there, congratulations and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Like you said, it's a blessing and a curse being a coach's kid, and especially with daughters. Sometimes, man, people don't understand it, but when that game's over and that clock hits 0, that's the first place I'm going, and it's the most exciting feeling in the world to be able to enjoy that with my kids. And I'm so appreciative of my support system that has them there every week, and these assistant coaches that have gotten us to 8-2 with this group. And, man, we just riding the wave over here. I thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for actually including the Abbyville in y'all show. Because, look, man, it's almost midnight, and y'all guys are talking to us about Vermilion Parish football. That's not always a thing, and I thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck in the playoffs.
We appreciate it.
It's stories like that when you consider past seasons. Trying to think of teams that have come to mind, whether it was Grand Lake a couple of years ago or the team out there in was it Transylvania?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun stories.
General Trask,
yeah. And it's a story like this where you've got Abbyville playing in an area where you're talking a lot more probably about surrounding parishes and other teams, Vermilion Catholic, a team that went undefeated. But these are cool stories that you want to follow, and you want to see these teams and these coaches succeed.
Yeah, the smaller schools with those community-based schools, it's really fun to watch how their fan base gets behind them, and the alumni come back, and the former players, and everyone's invested. And a lot of times how it is at work for you or in the school for that week rests upon how the high school team did on a Friday night.
I'm hoping we can get in touch with Coach Franklin up at Hanesville. We've tried a couple of times. We're still going to try again. But to me, that's a game I'd love to go see. It's small school where kids are going both ways. They're not coming off of the field. It's in them old piney woods of way up north Louisiana, and that's all they have up there. And the atmosphere, I can imagine, you shut the two towns down when those two teams playing. Like Coach L was saying off air, it's one of the oldest rivalries, if not the oldest rivalry in the state of Louisiana, along with Jesuit and Holy Cross.
Omelet Festival is a fun weekend. I did it once.
I trust you.
Had a buddy worked in the Abbyville newspaper, and he invited us in. Fun time, giant omelets. All right, we'll take a break. That's all I had. It was fun.
I like it.
I'll share a picture. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Week 10 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. In your view.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water, they can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines, or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always
Prep football from West Monroe to West Side. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 10 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Jimmy Roy, the coach, Eric Helt from the Louisiana Coaches Association, with a hot bowl of gumbo. Coach, where'd you get that? Can you sing the
He's
the
chewing
jingle?
right now.
Oh.
Chris's Specialty Foods now.
Yes, right.
That's right. Some good stuff, ain't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. I had some gumbo earlier today for dinner. He said, hey, we're going to have gumbo on the show.
And
Wow.
he said, I'll eat it again.
I'll eat it again.
Look, go get your Thanksgiving order.
I was saying, how
Seriously.
soon can you start putting those in?
I'm sure
already?
you can
Yeah.
start putting them in for
Yeah.
turduckins and whether it's cornbread dressing, turkeys, ham, whatever you need. Chris's Specialty Foods.
We had some of
will-
the sides here earlier. They were on AFR, and so like I said, that's the great part of the Chris's Specialty Foods when it comes to Thanksgiving. The sides, the main dishes, the turducken, which has become a staple at the house. Absolutely, start getting those orders in because I know it's a hectic time for Skip in the next coming weeks. Let's go ahead and jump on the phone, and we are joined by another victorious head coach. I believe we got head coach of Hanesville tonight with the win over Homer. Head coach David Franklin joins us. Coach, thanks so much for spending a couple minutes with us here on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Appreciate it. And you're making me hungry. Y'all talking about that food, though, because we just got to eat a sandwich, but that sounds way better than what y'all talking about. So.
Coach, after that win, I'm sure you can have any meal you want in the town of Hanesville tonight.
Well, I don't know about that. We played a good ball game tonight, all the way around. It was I thought our kids were well prepared, and it started the opening kickoff. We had a really good return and came out pretty good on offense, and were able to stop them on defense, I think. But the highlight of the night may have been the 3 field goals that we made. I don't know that we've making 1 field goal, but we had one of them was 42. So good night for our kicker. Kind of wish we could have put the ball in the end zone on some of those, but when you can come away with points, that certainly helps.
Yeah, trying to keep up with your game as it progressed tonight. We saw the 3 field goals, and then Amari and Webb had a couple of 1-yard touchdown runs for you.
That's Isaiah Washington. He did. They were
okay.
They were a quarterback sneak. So yes, he did. We had a lot of kids that did well tonight. Our freshman halfback had a really good night. I think he had 140 something yards. Really good night. And Jackson had a good night as well on offense.
Coach, talk about we mentioned in the previous segment. This is one of the oldest rivalries, if not the oldest in the state. It's right there with Jesuit and Holy Cross. But does it get any better than a Hanesville-Homer game? Small school, small town football where the city or the town shut down and everybody's there. Talk about the atmosphere at this rivalry game.
I mean, it was the same way tonight. It doesn't matter what the records of the two teams are or what happened last year or whatever. It was the same this year. Of course, there's a packed house tonight, and I think Hanesville had a huge crowd there. So it's a fun game to play in for high school football. You wouldn't think that you look at how many people are there and how small the two schools are. I mean, it's pretty impressive to have that many people there and supporting on both sides. So, but it's just a lot of fun to play in the game. It's a lot of pressure for the kids too, but it's just a fun football game for everybody.
David, Eric Held here. Congratulations on the big win tonight. Everybody out there who follows Louisiana prep football is familiar with the Franklin family and the tradition at Hanesville and what your dad, Alton Red Franklin, did for so many years. Multiple state championships, multiple district titles, playing for multiple state championships, a fixture in the Dome for so many years that you were a part of in multiple ways. And he's a member of so many different halls of fame. Some of the lessons you learned from him that you continue as part of the tradition at Hanesville.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, he got to make it tonight. He
awesome.
Sometimes doesn't get to make the away games, but he did get to make it tonight. But I think just the main thing that that we as all of our coaches have learned is it's more about doing the right thing, and it's not always just football. But I think that our kids did that this week, and I think they did that tonight. It's a whole lot more to this game than football. But I thought that our kids played really well tonight with a really good attitude and with good sportsmanship, and we were certainly proud of them. And I think that's one thing that I've learned, certainly from him, a lot of things. But the main thing is just it's a whole lot more than football. It's just doing the right thing, and that's what we try to preach.
Well said, and it's pretty cool that I get to see him in the foyer of our building every day when I pass through. So think about him every day when I see him. So just think about how special that is and important to high school football that your dad has been.
How many years combined have y'all been the head coaches at Hanesville?
He was well, I guess since '66. That was his first year.
Wow.
So somebody that's a little better in math, not quite as tight as I am, can figure that.
That was the best answer you can give.
I think if his first year was '66, I think this is the 58th year.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us here tonight. We know you've got a lot of work to do ahead of you, but we appreciate the time
Yes,
and
sir.
Best of luck next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As head coach David Franklin from over at Hanesville, they get the big win over Homer in Week 10.
And I just got a text from Hunter Bauer, who's a proud Hanesville alum, the 114th meeting between the two schools.
That's longer than Jesuit. They were 104 this year.
Something like that, yeah. So
100 and what?
14th. 114.
Wow.
Awesome. And it's pretty cool when you walk through, and Coach Franklin's a member of the NFHS and National Hall of Fame. Coach J.T. Curtis as well. And just awesome to watch those guys coach in the Dome for so many years, and their programs, just tremendous programs, highly successful.
You know, we talked about success at the high school level, and so many times they're connected with coaches that have had longevity, whether it was Wayne Stein, who's been working under, Frank Monica, whether it was Coach Hightower we've talked about with St. Thomas More. We were talking with Shaw not that long ago, and Coach Tierney, who's been a longtime coach. Sometimes there's just something to having that stability, and it's not always easy for an administration to be able to hold serve and to want to retain that staff if you have some ups and downs. JT Curtis talked to us in an interview before about the early years where they didn't win a game, and I know that we've heard the story about Coach Travis Bourgeois, where the administration gave him time, and look what he's done at Episcopal. So the coaches that have had longevity, the staffs that have been with them for a long time, that's where you see a lot of continued success.
And I think one thing that David just mentioned, doing the right thing. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And I think that's a lesson he learned from his dad, as well as being consistent. You don't see any staff changes. John Ware was on that staff and got a head coaching job at North Webster or North Caddo, and then now at North Webster. You don't see changes on the St. Charles Catholic staff.
Washita Christian.
Washita Christian. Yeah. St. Thomas More. One thing that was so cool when I was at Catholic, when I was a player, I loved to look at opposing teams' programs, and just me being a trivia nerd, trying to learn as much as possible. And
Coach Tidwell.
That's right. And
47 years, I think. He's been there since day one.
And you look at the St. Thomas More program and their coaches' bios, and almost everyone on that staff went to St. Thomas More, and if they didn't, they had just been on that staff for such a long time. And consistency is such a big part of that, where you had Shane Savoy as the offensive coordinator, and
Corey
Terry Tidwell
has been there forever.
He's been there forever. I'm drawing a blank on the receiver coach, can picture him right now, and I'm beating myself up because I can't remember his name. But
Struthers?
Yes, Lance. He's been there for a long time as well. So the lack of turnover is a great thing. It's consistency, doing the right thing, as Coach Franklin said, and those are hallmarks of great programs.
We'll take a time out. We'll get back, one more look at scores, and we'll hand out helmet stickers for Week 10 here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Mom, what's for breakfast? Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front to back.
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 10, and we are presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy, and it's time for us to award our weekly helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my neck of the woods and give a shout-out to Coach Kyle Lasang and his Edie White Cardinals. Carter Douglas with 3 scores tonight for Edie White, helping them get their win, and also a district win tonight over St. James.
Mine's easy tonight. It's for all the seniors that's played their last high school game who's not going to be making the playoffs. Let's hope that they had a good experience and learned some life lessons and just enjoyed their high school career.
And I can't remember the name of the kicker for Coach Franklin's Golden Tornado, but young man kicked 3 field goals tonight, which is a great feat, and his name escapes me right now. But as a former kicker, I'm a little tilted toward that. And also I want to throw a helmet sticker out to the Ostruma Indian chief, who's been on horseback at every home game and leads the team out on the field. Great mascot, part of the pomp and circumstance that Coach Sid has brought to Ostruma, that he's done a great job there with that. But
real quick, I've finally been able to pull up some power rankings in Division I non-select. Looks like Ruston 1, Neville 2, Destrehan 3, Airline 4, Santa Maria 5, Zachary 6, Dutchtown at 7, West Monroe at 8, Walker at 9, Chalmette 10, Salmon at 11, Sam Houston 12, 13 Southside, Bell Chase at 6-3 at 14, East St. John at 15, Westgate falls to 16, with Terrebonne. Central moves up to 18, Parkway at 19. Thibodeau's 4 and 5 gets in at 20. Mandeville 21, West Washita, Ponchatoula, Benton, North Shore, South Lafourche, Barb, Washington Parish edges out East Ascension for the final spot at 28. Wow.
And remind me, so 28 on the non-select side, 24 for select. How many buys in that non-select Division 1?
4.
4?
Correct.
So that's the tough thing about last night for Zachary. Now they are traveling.
They'll host.
They'll host. Okay.
They'll host, but they will play.
Okay.
So let's see if we can get lucky enough to pull up.
And then on the select side, there are 8 buys.
Correct. North DeSoto finishes 1 locally. Cecilia's number 2, Lutcher's 4, West Feliciana drops to 5, so they'll play in the first round. Plaquemine moves up to number 9. Opelousas at 12 is one to watch there. In the Division 1 select side here, Holy Cross did finish as number 1. 2 is Captain Shreve. Catholic with their win last night moves up to number 3. Curtis with their win moves up to number 6.
Hey, thanks to Wayne Stein, thanks to Coach David Franklin, Coach Rod Moy, to Coach Eric Held, for Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Ryan and Skip and Cassie. We will see you Friday night for the play.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units,